I am God, I never change. And you, the sons of Jacob, the Jewish people, lo chilitam, you don't get excited. I am God, I'm creating you. I love you. I'm giving you everything. Get excited a little bit. I got other things to do. Tomorrow I'll get excited. The sibat hadavar, and the reason is, mashit bonanut ani Hashem lo shiniti eno poelet. The reason that thinking and contemplating this idea that I am God, I never change, when you contemplate the oneness of God and how God is so infinitely close to us and that He's giving us everything and creating us and enlivening us, and this does not make us excited, no isarus alev, our heart does not get excited, because you, Bnei Yaakov, because the Jewish people are called, in this case, Yaakov. Yaakov is Yud, Akev. Yud is the first letter of God's name, Yud Kei Vav Kei, and Akev means the heels. Neshamos the ikvas the Mashiach. It's not your fault. You are souls which are in the heels of the Mashiach. Maybe in the generation when they came out of Egypt, they received the Torah, they all saw God. Maybe the generations in the first temple, the second temple, maybe you could come to them with a blame. You could come get a little bit angry at them. Come on, you have the temple. What are you doing all these sins for? But now our generation, you can't get mad. Why? Because we are the lowest generation. We are the heels of the Mashiach. Ukamo guf adam, just like a person's body. Hari or ha'ekev, the skin which is on the heel, who or gasva of bioter, it is thick. Ve'ein bo hargasha, and there's not so much feeling like the hand. What we see, you want to go into want to see if a mikveh is cold or what? What? You stick your foot into it, put your toe in there, but sometimes you don't even put your heel in there because your heel can't feel at anything. Right? It doesn't feel anything whatsoever. It says that's what we are. We're generation. All of history is like a big body. And let's say the giving of the Torah, that was the head, and we're the heels. Really, gam ha'ikev. The fact of the matter is, even the heels, chai, it lives. It's part of the soul. It's part of your body. Kamo chomer alev, like the heart has its material that it's made of. The moach and the brain has its material it's made of. Rak chomer alev v'moach, the material, the meat that the heart is made of and that the brain is made of, hu chomer zach vadak. It's a little more refined. Chomer akev, but the material that the heels are made is gas va'avioter. It's very, very thick. The cane who, like, to have a heel transplant would not be a very difficult operation, right? To have a heel transplant. The cane who baruchne, so it is spiritually. The soda neshamos, and the souls. The neshamos, the ikvas, the Mashiach, that these souls which are in the heels of the Mashiach, tzarichot litorer yoter, they have to get aroused, get excited. Ad shiargishu et emesh, until they feel the truth. Hainu, namely, what's the truth? The call and the shamos, that all of the souls, kalulos ba'adam arishon, were included in Adam, the first man. The first man had all of the souls were in his soul. He was the first man. He was the seed. Yesh taluim barosh, some of them come from, they're connected to the head of there's books that explain all the different souls, where they came from, and not every soul. But there's a book called the Seder Adoros from, Rav Halperin. There's books, Gilgul and Hashamos, Shara Gilgulim of the Arizal. Yes?
I have a question. Like, my dad told me that you share a rock of your siblings. You're cut from the same source, nor as your siblings.
I don't know. Maybe he understands those things. I don't understand what souls, where souls come from, and, who's a Gilgul of which, but there is such a thing. It exists such a thing.
There's a way it works.
Yes, it is.
It's just complicated.
Complicated. And it's not really necessary for us. The big tzaddikim, they understand these things. And it's also not so necessary. I never saw the Rebbe say, you are a Gilgul of such and such a person. Even though there was really a case where the Rebbe did say that you were a reincarnation of somebody. There was a case like that for a girl. That's a long story. Kalula b'Adam Rishon. Yesh taluyim barosh. There are certain souls which come from the head of Adam. Ubashari vorim. Some come from the arms, the legs. Yesh nichlolin be'ekev. And there are souls that come from the heels of Adam, the first man. Ve'hein rov haneshamos de'ikva de Mashiach. That these are the majority of souls from the heels of the Mashiach. Umizen nimshach. From this it comes. Sheyochol lios avon ikvi, the sin of the heels, liot kishorish neshama. Why? Because the source of his soul comes from this level of the heel. He doesn't feel godliness. What do you want? Right? What can you do? It's like taking up a 3-year-old child and trying to explain to him nuclear physics. Just doesn't understand. Loch, and therefore, the same thing. Our generation, what are we going to understand God? We have no conception. We're nothing like the previous generations. Lochin, yochol liot, it can be ivut v'ikum darche boboda. Therefore, in our generation, it says hayinu kacholmim. We're like dreamers. In a dream, you can have two opposites. On one hand, you're serving God and you're loving. At the second, on the other hand, you're whatever it is, a monkey, a squirrel, who knows what. But all sorts of crazy things can happen in a dream. That's what it is now. A person can sit and he can learn Torah, and he can put on tefillin, and he can pray to God. And while he's doing it, at the same time, he's thinking about business, he's thinking about whatever. His phone rings, he must answer it. Umizen nimshach hakishalon. From this there comes what's called stumbling. Shu chalishas koach lidgaber ala yetzer hara. That we don't have the power of defiance to overcome our own destructive urges. The nefesh hativis. Now in our generation, there's a very, very terrible condition which is found all over the place. It's called addictions. People are addicted to all sorts of insane things. There's like 300-400 things that are known that people are addicted to. Famous one. Then there's little small things. But people are addicted to television. They're addicted to the emails. They're addicted to this. They're addicted to getting angry. They're addicted to attitudes. They're addicted to drugs, to drinking, to that. But really, yesh yitron b'neshamot. Even though that we are of the heels and we don't have any feeling and we're totally confused, and people get all entangled in all sorts of insane, self-destructive things, but nevertheless, this generation of the heels of the Mashiach has a big advantage to it. What? Be'inyan mesirut nefesh, self-sacrifice. Kamo begashmis, like in physical world. What's the physical world? Where does a person stand on the heels? We are heels. Heels are terrible, don't understand anything. But the heels have a very big purpose. Ikar amidas adam, the main place where a person stands on, hilucho, begova, achar gova, hu b'haregel. The main thing of a person, how he can walk, how he can climb, is with his feet. Tezeh yitron a regel ala rosh, and this way the heel has a big advantage on the head. Masha magbiyat the rosh, that it elevates the head. Umolicho, and it takes it. Hine kain hu ba'avoda ruchnis. So it is in spiritual service. Teyesh yitron b'neshamos de'ikvas t'mashicha. That nowadays we have a big advantage as far as mesirus nefesh. Now in our generation, there are people, common, willing to give up everything that they have, change their whole entire life, and just for God. They're willing to do it. A lot of people get tricked also. And so a lot of people get tricked. They go to the Far East, they get caught by missionaries, they get caught by cults, and drop everything for God. Yes, for God, because they don't know any better. But and now in our generation, there is the aspect of mesirut nefesh. Okay, Herschel. V'zeu ma shenitchadesh b'matan Torah. Now we're coming back to the first line of the Torah. First line of the Maimon. This is what the Jews got at Mount Sinai. True, Abraham knew the whole Torah before it was given. He could have just passed it down from generation to generation. All the other religions are based on one man, two men, maybe a group, that they got some sort of a revelation, of a dispensation, of a epiphany or something. They got something. And these few people, one person, two people, they came, I got the truth. And everybody says, oh, he's got the truth. And they believe it. They have millions and millions of people. No, they could have done the same thing with Abraham. Abraham had the truth. He could have gone and revealed it. Why did they have to give the Torah? Why did God have to have these big revelations? It says, because what did the Jews get at Mount Sinai? They got Torah. The tzaddikim before Matan Torah. Hine, behold, milvad, except for Avram Avinu, olav v'shalom, lo haya b'hem mesirut nefesh. The tzaddikim that existed, even the ones that were before Matan Torah, the tzaddikim, the holy people that existed before the giving of the Torah, they were holy because God gave them an affinity to spirituality. These people were talented spiritually, and they were big tzaddikim. But they were egotists like everybody else. They just realized that it wasn't worthwhile to go running around in the world after pleasures and after small things. They wanted spiritual pleasures. So they were tzaddikim, and they taught other people how to do the same thing. But there was no idea of mesirut nefesh. The whole world was one thing, selfishness. Either physical selfish or spiritual selfish. People thought either about getting benefit in this world or getting benefit in the world to come. That's what Abraham stood against. But Matan Torah, Nitan was given. Last line, Hakoach, the ability and the power and the potential, L'kol Yisrael, to every Jew, Gam l'neshamot te'ikvat Mashiach, even the souls in our low generation, l'masirut nefesh, to be totally devoted, our whole entire self, for Torah and the commandments. For not thinking one bit about ourselves, only the commandments. This, I think I told you this. I heard a speaker, Rabbi Manis Friedman, he said, why Jews can never accept, being Catholics or Protestants. Why not? He said, because very simple. What's Catholics, Protestants? Came along a person, and he said, you don't have to do the commandments anymore. I am your key to go to heaven. Believe in me, you go to heaven. You don't need Torah mitzvahs. What do the Jews say? I don't want to go to heaven. I'm interested in going to heaven. I'm interested in serving God. I'm interested in doing the commandments. The commandments is the way you serve God. That you give yourself over to God. I'm not interested in what God is going to give over to me. You want your religion, take your religion, do whatever you want to. But that's not the point of life. That's not why we're created, in order just to receive and go to heaven. Even if it's true what you say. Which that's also a big doubt. But even if it was true, who needs it? Who needs it? Who's going to heaven? Especially wouldn't want to be in heaven with people like you. That's a different stuff. The Mesiras Nefesh on Torah v'mitzvahs. Vehem yizku l'kabel panei Mashiach. And these people who have self-sacrifice, who do not think about themselves. All they think about is the truth. All they think about is to serve God. All they're thinking about is to do what God wants, the Torah and the commandments. And that's happiness. When you stop thinking about yourself, you can be happy. You're free to be happy. A person that thinks about himself, he's never really happy. Whatever he has, he's afraid maybe he's going to lose it. And if he doesn't have anything, then he's afraid that maybe he'll never get it. But if a person serves God, you've got it. That's it. I don't care what I receive. I know that I'm serving the Creator. Nothing greater than that. And that's what we got on Mount Sinai. That's what we got on the ability of having Mesirut Nefesh, that each Jew can be like Abraham, serving God only for the sake of serving God. And that's, by the way, the reason why the story of the Akedah, of Abraham taking Yitzchak to sacrifice him, is in the beginning of every Jewish Siddur, normal Siddur. Every single Jewish Siddur. The prayer book, every single one. Ashkenazi, Sephardi, the Litvish, the Polish, every single. What's this story doing? It's telling us Abraham was our father because he didn't think about himself. He didn't care about not this world, not the world to come. He cared only about one thing, serving God, and that made him tremendously happy. And that's in our ability of each and every Jew. That's what we received on Mount Sinai at Matan Torah. And that's what we will receive again this Shavuot. Every Jew will receive the power and the ability to be totally devoted to the creator of the universe and to make this world a beautiful, healthy, happy place with the arrival of Mashiach now.